Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Warped, the completely unnecessary Star Trek podcast, where we provide live audio commentary tracks to Star Trek The Next Generation episodes. My name is Matt.
I'm Sean.
I'm Jake.
Aaron.
And
I'm May.
And we are back again, now watching, I don't know what, the Royale, season 2, episode something.
Royale with cheese.
Yeah.
I can't, it doesn't say on my screen what episode this is, but that's okay, because Sean will do the credits.
We got, season 2
But it's
episode
the Royale.
The Royale.
And, this is a fun one. They go to a casino.
Yep.
It's fun.
Okay.
How much time is on the clock, Sean?
I got 45 minutes and 37 seconds, and I'm punching the triangle in 3, 2, 1, punch.
Yeah.
Oh, mine didn't punch. Am I not in the meeting?
Well, you never left.
Get in the party. Tell it that party.
Nothing happened on mine.
Yeah, I left and came back.
Click on the icon.
I didn't trust it. That's the.
Yeah, once Netflix cut ties with them, sent that cease and desist, it's been. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to try it again.
It's all over the place.
This is one of those episodes that I remember watching, like when I was young, as being a very early impression of Star Trek. I really, really liked this one because like the setting is so bizarre. I was just like, my mind couldn't like figure out what the heck I was watching. I was just like, wait, this is Star Trek, but there's all these 80s people and what? It's so silly. It was great. It was a good feeling.
What do you mean the setting is so bizarre?
Well, you'll find out soon.
You'll see.
Okay.
Who watched? Sean, you watched?
I did. This
Did you
one I
make it all the
actually
way
watched.
through?
I did watch this one.
It's like a holodeck episode that just isn't on the holodeck.
This is like
Yeah.
actually more of a classic original series episode where they go to the planet. It pretty much is just a full ripoff of the gangster one.
Yeah, you're
Because
absolutely right.
the premise is they built this place based on a book.
Oh, really? I didn't know that part.
Yeah,
I haven't watched
yeah.
this again.
Yeah, the whole thing is this society built the Royale because of some bad crime novel that a guy wrote.
So it really is a classic Star Trek
Yep.
episode.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But
I love that they can just have a full-on conversation about Fermat's last theorem as like the intro to an episode of Star Trek, and like nothing is happening in this scene except that Picard and Riker are having this like very thoughtful conversation about Fermat's last theorem.
One of the IMDb trivia about this episode is that they talk about Fermat's last theorem not being solved for 200 years.
Right, and then
in
somebody
actuality,
solved it.
it was solved 4 years later.
Yeah.
Then it was solved in 1993.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
They really brought some awareness to that.
I guess that's the
problem.
risk of. That's the risk of any speculation about what the future is going to be like. Is that
Sure.
it's going to be wrong on some level, so you just have to live with it.
They're responsible for it getting solved, though, because they really like brought it up and
Somebody was like, "Ooh, that's a good idea." Uh-oh.
Talk about callback.
Yeah, he was just talking about having weird puzzles to solve, and now look at that. It's NASA. I love the NASA logo. I wish Philippe was here so we could nerd out about the NASA font.
NASA font.
Because that is a spectacular font.
Yeah,
They'll
they
be
did.
back one day.
They got rid of it. Although I guess they put it on the SpaceX ship that they launched.
What do you mean they got rid of it? They changed the
NASA
logo.
updated their
NASA
logo.
font?
NASA doesn't use that logo anymore. But like I said, they used it for the SpaceX flight.
Oh, why are things changing?
I know. They were like new and improved, but
Yeah,
you may receive the old chip with the old.
It's like Coke Zero. It's like not as good as the original.
Yep.
I gotta look up the new
got rid of
logo
the
now.
tab.
Remember when they came out with New Coke in 1985?
Oh,
and
sure.
everyone's like, this sucks. We miss old Coke. So they had to put old Coke back out onto the market.
They called it Coke Classic.
Everybody revolted, and then eventually they got rid of new. I think they just changed New Coke to Coke Zero, and they changed Classic Coke back to just being regular
Coke.
Coke.
Well,
Yeah.
isn't the conspiracy theories that's when they started using the high fructose corn syrup? They used it as a little
That's
sleight of hand.
They changed from sugar.
As a Trojan horse to make the
Mhm.
change. Is
Yeah,
what you're suggesting? I didn't know that, but sure. Coca-Cola is
that's
a
what the
giant.
QAnon people say.
I mean, giant multinational corporations are by definition evil. So it wouldn't put it past me to have Coca-Cola do something like that. Why not? Sean, what are the credits for the episode?
So we're watching the Royale season 2, episode 12, original air date March 25th, 1989. Worf, Data, and Riker find themselves trapped in a recreation of a poorly written novel. Aaron, what do you
That's
think?
it? That was
That's
the whole
it. That's
Okay.
the description.
Fair enough.
8.
May?
Wow, you're really
7. I like this one.
Anybody else?
Oh, I think it's less than that. I think this
6.
episode is fun, but I don't think fans like it. I think it's
Yeah,
probably.
I'm gonna say they'd said 6.3.
I'm
No, I
gonna say
liked it.
6.4.
7.
6.7.
Oh.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Suck it.
What
And
are the
I think this
fans
is better than the last episode, but
I agree. Yeah.
in reading it, all the nerds complain about saying it's just a ripoff of an original series episode. That's why everyone hates it. But
It's a better episode just because it's more. There's more going on. It's more, it's more
interesting.
It's more visually interesting. There's more wacky guest stars.
There's so much good Data stuff in this one.
Yes.
Oh. Data playing craps is hilarious.
There's like,
You get
and
that
like
vice-
Worf's
And
on the
also
away team.
highly gifified on like Twitter. and
Oh,
places
is
like
it? Is that a
Yeah,
famous?
there's lots of gifs out there of Data like blowing on the dice and then rolling them onto the craps table.
Great.
That's the best.
I know we weren't really watching the last episode, but I actually liked what I saw of the last episode. Like Data had some cool moments, like Jacob said, they killed him off for a quick little bit. And he was doing like real cool, funny robot movement things. So he might be better in this episode, but I thought the last episode was not bad.
I just like that effect. That effect is making me laugh. Of
The yellow smoke
visual.
above their
the
heads,
black room with the yellow smoke overhead.
and then the weird revolving door.
Yeah,
Good there, Will. You figured out it's a door.
it's a door. Riker's never been like the smartest character on the show. He's solid, but he's not like a brain surgeon.
That's
you know?
not what he's
he
there
always
for.
gets where he needs to get to, but it's like,
Yeah.
He's the eye candy. Come on. He's the act first, think later guy on the show. Picard's the thoughtful one in the leadership role.
I think Riker's more like the learn to rely on the smart people around you when
Sure.
you're making
Yeah.
decisions kind of guy. Like
Yeah.
he knows he's not the smartest person on that bridge, so he relies on Data, Geordi
furs.
to like tell him what's going on.
He's got street smarts.
he steps in when the problem relies on like swagger and guts to solve.
Sure.
But part
I
of being a
don't
good
do very
leader-
well with those kinds of doors. I had a tough time in Chicago.
Yeah. East
Really?
Coast would not be good for you.
lot of
So you're telling me you're Balky in the opening credits of
I am.
Strangers?
I think because I'm like I have a shorter inseam than like the average human being or whatever that they make those
Sure.
for. I
Can't
have to
keep
I
up
have to
with
do
the
two
door.
steps. I have to speed up in a way that's not pleasant for me.
They have they make them now where they slow down as you approach, so you can.
Maybe I need to get more in sync with that because
It's like-
I was gonna get
They're
smacked.
a
by-
lot bigger now too. Like now they're so big that they like 3 or 4 people can fit into one
one
like
extra.
wedge. They used to be like individual person sized.
It's like getting on a lift chair when you go skiing.
Right. Oh, that used to make me so anxious as a kid.
getting on and getting off is such a
When I was a kid, my dad liked to ski, and so we would go sometimes. I know, humble brag.
first world problems.
We would go every once in a while to this. I forget what it's called, Sierra Summit or something like that. It's like some ski resort outside of Fresno, and that used to make me so uncomfortable.
It's
I was a nervous, weird kid to begin with, and then to have to be like, you have 5 seconds to get into place onto this thing, and if you don't, people might die.
Yeah,
and you've got these long sticks on your feet.
Down about it because they made it seem like life and death. Like if you didn't get on that thing correctly, there was the potential that you would die.
Turns out it would just be inconvenient to them.
Right. They would just have to stop the lift for 30 seconds
Right,
while
right.
you got up there. But they made it seem so important that you do it right. Meanwhile, some bored 22-year-old skier dude is just like, whatever, get on.
The like carny version of a skier dude is, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the most frightening part is who's running the ski lifts.
Mickey D, is this
Never skied in my life, but I like living vicariously through people that grew up on some kind of terrain that was actually
Aaron, you lived in like winter wonderland.
Yeah, but there's no
flat as
mountains.
fuck, man. Flat
There's
as
no
fuck.
mountains in
There are
Michigan.
people who cross country ski, but that's why I'm like, it's really the Richie Riches that go skiing because you have to go somewhere out of state to do that. Where I'm from.
Didn't you tow people behind your trucks and then just have them on skis?
Like water ski, but in the snow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, it's
You
not the
did?
same.
I thought
No.
he was just making some dumb thing.
I'm just appeasing him.
You don't have to. Okay.
That is the proper response. Appeasement.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sean, where's that guy from? The guy who's playing.
That is, he's actor's name is Sam Anderson.
He's very recognizable.
Yeah, what I recognize him from is the doctor who is really into Fonzie when Phoebe gives birth on Friends.
Okay. That's not where I recognize him from. But
He's also
that's
the
funny.
principal that has sex with Sally Field so Forrest Gump can go to school.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, really?
Wait,
That's
what? I need to watch Forrest Gump again.
You don't remember the beginning of Forrest
At
Gump?
the very
Forrest
beginning of
Gump is
Forrest
so
Gump,
fun.
at the very beginning of Forrest Gump, because Forrest is, mentally whatever he is, whatever word you want to use to describe Forrest Gump,
Fuck.
the school district doesn't want to let him go to school because they're like, he's mentally deficient.
Special school.
And Sally Field doesn't want to do that. So the principal
Right. I
blackmails her.
remember that now.
And she has sex with
Yeah.
him in order to get Forrest to be able to go to school.
Sam Anderson is the actor's name.
Sam Anderson.
And here comes the other famous that guy actor
Here comes
who's
Texas.
Noble Willingham.
We were watching this episode together, May and I, last night, and I was describing what this episode was like, and I was like, this is the episode that's one of the most like a LARP that we've ever seen.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Absolutely right.
I mean, holodeck episodes in general are LARPy in flavor because they're all about dressing up and pretending to be people that you're not. And this is, like Sean said, just a holodeck episode that takes place on a planet. So, yeah, it's a very LARPy, especially the casino setting. We've actually done LARPs that were set in casinos.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Drag
a
all
very
our laundry
LARPy
out in public.
But
episode.
even more so for me because the solve for this episode is they have to like talk to the characters and figure out the backstories.
They have to finish the book.
They have to finish
They
the
have
book.
to finish
Yeah.
the book. That's
Right.
how they.
That's
that.
So they actually have to
Part
play
I like
the LARP.
the least about LARPs.
Yeah. Usually it's just they're in the holodeck and something goes wrong, like around them or with the holodeck, and it's just like, oh, we have to figure out how to stop this. But now it's just like the only way out is through. So actually,
Yeah. You're right. And I just watched one. I just watched a season 7 episode because Stan's been watching He's been doing a rewatch on his own time, and every once in a while I watch one with him. And he's almost to the end. And we just watched one where the Enterprise becomes self-aware, and they have to go onto the holodeck to like talk to the ship. And the setting in the holodeck is like the Orient Express. So it's all of these characters like on a train, and Troy has to go around and like talk to the various characters on the train and try and figure out what's going on with the ship. And that felt like a very LARPy episode to me too. We'll get to that episode in about 7 years.
Cool.
Assuming we're all alive.
We will be. We will be. We'll be there. It'll be fine. It'll be good.
That's right, man. We will
We'll be in the podcast camps that get set up around the country.
Right. That have to create content to appease the masses.
We'll be strapped to a desk with a microphone.
Yeah, we will be in Essential Worker Camp Omega 7 podcast segment 4.
They're gonna tape up, like Johnny Depp in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. We're gonna be all taped up with microphones and recording shit strapped to our bodies as we walk around the world.
It's Malcolm McDowell in Clockwork Orange, but instead of the things prying his eyes open, it's just a microphone and the thing keeping your lips open. So you have to talk constantly.
Yeah, and it's a combination of that and the human centipede with just all of us. It's dirty. It's unfortunate.
Does anyone here have a bolo tie? Is that in your box of ties, Matt?
I do have a bolo tie.
You know what? I do have a bolo tie. Amy Schmidt once, for a Christmas present or something, gave me a really nice, like a silver. It's the tie, the connecty bit is like the shape of like a bull's skull, like a cow skull,
Sure.
Like a Western style cow skull, and it's made out of, I don't think it's silver, but it's silver colored, and it's really nice. I've worn it to LARPs. I don't know that I've ever worn it in real life, but I think
That's the only time I've worn mine was to the Western LARP we did.
I might make you guys wear yours.
Mm-hmm. For when we get together for
mine
reunion.
Mine is a golden eagle as the clip thingy.
Nice.
Yeah, I wanna talk about like our future reunion where it's gonna be at Warp Studios. There's gonna be the jacuzzi and the pool.
Yeah, we're gonna get it all
right
for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
The boat that you have to take from the door to the recording studio.
It sounded charming the first time.
The popcorn machine.
Yeah,
right?
Popcorn machine.
There's a waffle maker.
I might have to just get a Margaritaville because.
This episode, you guys, will air on December 28th of 2020. So
December 28th or 18th?
I mean, sorry, 18th. December 18th. So it's the week before Christmas, as people are listening to this.
It's my birthday, guys. Yay.
Joe Biden is going to be inaugurated in a couple of weeks. And I hope the future turned out okay. As I speak to the people of 12, 18, 20.
Right.
I hope it all worked. As I speak from, 10, 25, 20. I hope it all worked out okay.
I hope it all works out in a couple of months.
I hope the next 6 to 8 weeks work out okay.
All right, everyone back to zero.
Here's Aaron going through a door.
The bad version.
Aaron, there she is. Wait.
I mean, it was kind of exciting. I was like, I'm in a new place. Like, this is not like where I don't know what's going on. It's different and I have to like figure stuff out, but it was a little bit stressful. I won't lie.
You know when you had to do like double Dutch in elementary school and you had
Jump in.
You do that thing with your hands where you put your hands out in front of you and you sort of like used your hands as a guide to figure out when the right moment to jump in was? I'm making the gesture right now. You guys can't see me, but I'm actually doing it.
Yeah.
And you had to like pick your moment to go in. That's an automated revolving door right there. That's what that is. You got to pick.
And I think
your moment.
That door was moving extra fast as well.
You could lose a finger if you didn't do it right.
Times that I'm not I'm not in sync with the rest of the planet.
Everything.
Everyone in the casino is dressed like in just like 80s clothes.
Yeah.
Like they're not dressed like from a specific time period. They just look like normal 80s people in a casino.
But that in itself is sort of a specific time period.
Yeah, I suppose. Do they say specifically that the book was written in like 1987 or something?
Don't recall if they do.
I really like this part because, like, let's just blast our way out of here.
Well, that's
his
Worf's answer to everything.
Yeah.
Like,
It's an option.
can I use my phaser, please, please, please?
Higher setting.
An episode where Worf doesn't get to shoot something is like A Day Without Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
They must have spent so much on this episode for this entire set, the extras. Did they blow everything from the season on this?
I have to imagine they had a casino set on the Paramount lot that they just used and dressed up.
Piggyback onto.
It's got a Greco-Roman feel though.
They filmed it at the Tangiers in Vegas.
They did?
No, I don't.
No,
No.
Okay.
He sounded so legit.
Yeah, I mean,
We're
I would
practicing
believe
yes
you.
and.
You're like, they went to an actual casino to do this.
I really like the guy in back who looks like Lionel Richie. He's been catching my eye a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is Lionel Richie. He was a huge Star Trek fan.
You're just
There he
pushing
goes
it now,
again.
Tom. There he goes again.
What's
I
your
shot my
favorite?
watch
There's a
too
whole
soon.
there's a whole backstory going on, right, with all the characters in the casino.
Yeah.
This is what Jake means when he says it's LARPy. Like they have to figure out the story that they're trapped in, right?
Hmm. What characters are they playing in the story? And
I love that one of the characters is Mickey D. I'm just imagining this is about Mickey Mouse and Walt Disney, and just like some weird scandal that's going on, like some sort of Chinatown scandal.
I
Like
wish
Walt
they had
Disney.
made. I wish they had made. Yeah, I'm gonna cut you off right there, man. I wish they had made Riker and Worf and Data dress up in costumes too. Do they ever dress up in costume, or are they in their regular
no,
outfits?
they just stay in their uniforms.
They
the
have
whole
a
time.
totally great
Yeah.
opportunity to, and they don't take it too.
This is like when people show up to a LARP and they haven't done the costume idea, and they've just shown up for the party. It's rude.
Although some of the LARPs we've been to, if somebody dressed as Western and somebody dressed as Star Trek, it wouldn't be out of place.
Right.
Like
Sure.
they're just
Sure, sometimes anything will do.
yeah. We call that
You guys
LARP
have-
a Yamashita.
Yeah. I
You guys-
remember one time I got assigned a character, and I guess I didn't get the update that I was assigned another character, but it's kind of funny. So I was wearing this bikini over my clothes, which made a lot of sense for my first character, but not so much for the initial character. But it still worked. I made it work.
No one gave you the fact. No one called you with the recasting notes.
I don't know. I think in those days, Philippe was the one getting the information. So who the hell knows what happened?
Yeah, that's not a good plan.
Also,
That's
I
like
remember
when the
Leave him
kindergarten
in charge
teacher-
of disseminating information.
Yeah, when the kindergarten teacher picked his email as the primary, and I didn't know anything that was going on that year. I always was last to sign up for the pizza party. I was like, why am I always getting this? Oh, you picked my husband's email for that was a grave error.
that
Did you guys just see that woman all in denim? walk
Yes.
past in front of.
Mm.
That was like
That was a
huge
very
moment.
80s.
That
That was a
is-
very.
It was a hell
I
of a
like
look.
that. I like that little joke that they stand there for a second because they think
wait
the
for
door's
the
gonna
elevator
open
to
up.
open. Yeah.
They don't know they have to push the button to make the elevator
Mhm.
come. It's a little joke there. This is a fun episode.
Yeah, man. It's like
I'm
bachelor
enjoying-
party.
Look at the lattice grid on these doors. Ugh, so tacky.
I thought you were
very senior citizen home or Florida home or something.
Yeah, is the Royale supposed to be a nice casino or kind of a rundown.
This looks
casino.
nice to
It's
me.
supposed to be a
This looks
rundown
nice
casino.
to me.
In the novel that they're in, it's supposed to be sort of run down.
Oh my
Oh no!
I don't know. That's kind of fun.
God. Dusty Zombies. Dusty Doug. She's definitely got some.
Yeah, those Dougs have.
Data says it's a boy.
Well, he's got some Dusty Dougs. Unfortunately.
Pronoun choices matter, man.
I'm sorry.
So now we can get to the part of the show where I think way too much about the plot, and ask the question: if this guy was stuck here for like 60 years or whatever, did he bother to like solve the puzzle of the hotel and then go outside and find out that there was nowhere to go, or did he just stay inside the whole time? Because they find his book and he writes a journal entry intending for somebody to read it, but he didn't talk about that at all. He doesn't talk about like, I tried to like do everything that they wanted me to do, but there was just nothing outside anyway. He just said, it's just been hell. So what do you guys think? Tell me.
Did he just die? Did he just die of old age because he couldn't figure out how to get out? They didn't kill him. He just died from being old.
Yeah, he lived there for years and years, like 60 years or something like that.
Uh-huh.
But he was trapped. But like the Starfleet offers, he could have gotten out eventually if he had tried. But did he get out and he just went outside and saw that he was trapped anyway, or did he just stay inside the whole time? That's the mystery.
Oh, I see what you mean. Because if he had gotten out, he's just in that black, empty
Right.
state.
All he could do was just go back in because
There's no way to go home because
his ship crashed.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good question.
I mean, I guess
Jake.
you would. I guess if you went out and found out there was nothing, you would just go back in, right? You just go back in and be like, I guess this is where I live now.
I'm just living here for the rest of my life.
And you know, there are worse places to live than a
Sean, what would you do?
casino.
I wouldn't have tried to leave in the first place.
Yeah.
I would have gotten a room and went and slept for the next 60 years.
Cozy. I think it looks like kind of a nice hotel. It's got a good.
Well,
lamp,
they've got
lighting.
room service.
Maybe they have cable.
I mean, I do like to walk, and I get bored with things. But here's the thing: if you're just walking outside in the darkness, in the blackness, you don't feel like you're walking at all, do you?
Well, you can walk around the hotel, and
Yeah, but I would try to
went outside.
Yeah, just
Well,
go
sure.
outside and just like try to just shoot for whatever. Just pick.
Yeah, but you're one of those.
I think the problem with
people.
Batman is that if you went outside and just started walking, you might never find your way back to the hotel entrance.
Oh, sure.
And then you'd really be screwed.
Well, and there's only a very small portion of the planet that's actually habitable for humans.
Oh.
Like they've created like a bubble over the casino, so you can't really go real far outside.
Yeah, I wonder if you could walk through the bubble. Because if you could, he could have just killed himself that way.
That's true. What would you prefer, just dying or hanging out in a casino for the rest of your life?
No, you live in the casino for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's got it right.
There's lots of things to do in a casino.
I don't know. I think the guy in the show makes a point, and you might eventually agree with him, Matt, that the writing is just so bad that he can't avoid it.
Is that what he says?
It's part of like the hell of his experience. It's like, not only is he a trap, but like the book that the world is based on is so atrocious. It definitely plays into the hellishness of it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, he's saying it right now. I see.
Yeah,
I'm reading the subtitles. He just got so bored by all the dumb characters that he was like, I'm over it.
And there's no way to change them, or they don't adapt, they don't evolve any. You just get the same.
It's just based on the book.
Interesting. It's sort of like a Groundhog's Day, all over again.
Yeah, it's like Groundhog's Day all over again. You're absolutely right.
Well, sort of like if you were there, you would just be living the same thing. Like they say the same thing.
That's the premise of Groundhog Day. Therefore, it's Groundhog Day all over again. It's you know, like Yogi Berra saying it's deja vu all over again.
Yeah. Min's kind of the Yogi Berra of this crowd.
Yeah,
I mean, we do have a game based on what things he might say.
Yeah. He's like a perverted Yogi Berra.
They used to play. They used to
Well,
play Yingo when Yogi Berra was around.
Yeah, I bet they did.
well, without Philippe around, I feel like I've got to do
up your game. I get
more
it.
work, in certain arenas. And I miss him. He'll be back soon. Though.
He definitely opens areas of conversation for you that the rest of us probably don't.
Well, but I feel like he can also take the slack with certain things, and I can ease off. I can be like, oh, okay, I can not say that because we've had something like that already, and we can move on.
Yeah.
I miss Philippe, but he'll be back. He'll be back soon enough. We'll see him again.
Keep telling yourself that.
That was a
Look,
moment.
they've got room service. You could order room service.
Oh, you could just stay inside. Oh.
I mean,
24 hours a day.
wow.
Then it'd be like,
That's what I'm saying.
I
I understand that the people you're trapped with are those characters are like boring or whatever. I don't know. I guess you'd get bored, but I mean,
you could do
I've been trapped in this apartment for 8 months now, and you know,
right.
things
but
are going okay.
you have us to talk to, so you've got a lifeline at least. If you didn't have
you
that,
guys are a lot like the characters in the novel.
Yeah.
Shallow and poorly written.
You know exactly what we're gonna say.
shade. For sure.
I'm just like, I've had this conversation 30 times already.
That's true.
You guys remember that time?
Yeah, we've talked about that
Eric,
already.
you'll recall.
I'm kidding. You know I love you all so much.
Yeah.
Talking to you guys is one of my favorite things that I get to do.
Ditto. I forget a lot of stuff that I already said though, so I'm
No, absolutely fine. It's
That
part of
makes me
everybody.
feel
It's
better.
part of the charm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and if we
see
repeat
Min
ourselves,
talking
it's
about-
really
Lionel
it's on our
Richie.
fans to point it out.
He looks
Now I
good.
see Min talking. Min thinks is Lionel Richie. I see
Sharp.
you talking now.
Yeah, I would hang out with him. He looks like a lot of fun.
I think I would hang out with Texas.
Yeah, I think you would.
Texas
Yeah.
is the coolest.
Yeah, I can see that. Which of these dealers would you sit down at? Right? Do you guys gamble? Do you do any gambling? No, I don't gamble. I'm not.
I like to gamble a little bit,
A little
but I'm
bit?
I'm pretty. I don't like to spend a
Casual.
lot of on gambling,
Yeah.
but I like
Yeah.
playing. I like playing if I don't care. You know, if I have I have X number of dollars that I'm okay with losing. You know what I mean?
budgeted for the
Yeah, it's like your entertainment fee.
and then it's just fun. And if I win, I
Right.
win. And if I lose, it's not a problem.
yeah.
I enjoy
That's-
sitting at a table with my friends and
Yeah,
having a
it's
good
fun
time.
to sit at a blackjack table and do all that stuff. So I like that part of it, but I don't gamble. I don't gamble expecting to win or even be good at it. I'm one of those people who sits at a blackjack table and the dealer has to tell me what the right thing to do is, because I also can't do math in my head fast. So I'm like, a 10 and a 4. Is it 12? You know. Or not, well, okay, I'm not that bad, but if I've got like a 3, a 5, and a 2, I'm like, what is that again? The dealer has to be like, it's a 10. You should hit.
It's like the
keep it percent.
I have to take the dealer's advice because they don't care. It's not their money. They want you to win because then they get better tips.
sure.
So, whatever the dealer says I should do is what I inevitably do.
Do you prefer like sitting with a person who's a dealer or like a machine dealer?
Or an android.
Oh, like at a video poker or
Yeah,
something
video.
like that?
Mhm.
No, I like sitting with I would prefer sitting at a person, but
Yeah.
the table, if you want to sit at a table, it's usually more expensive than sitting at a
Sure.
video machine. They used to have super cheap. They used to have super cheap blackjack tables.
That's
But I
Mickey
don't-
D.
Mickey D, you make me want a filet-o-fish. Number 7, medium with Coke.
Is he missing a hand? Oh no, it's inside his jacket.
Nobody knows.
I was like, I thought he had the jacket on. I didn't realize it was just like over his
He's
shoulder.
so badass.
That guy kind of gives me a Steven Weber vibe. A little bit.
Yeah, I could see Steven Weber. He's got that 80s guy kind of look.
Why is Picard so pouty?
Because his dudes are trapped down on the planet and they can't figure out how to get them back.
He's listening to the story to try to figure out if there's anything
He's
they
like
can learn.
me at a LARP. Like, I don't want to do that.
You know, if you don't want to come, all you have to do is say, I don't want to come.
There's drinks.
I won't be offended.
No, it's just funny. Like, I remember the one where I ultimately helped.
Some people actually like them. I
know.
want you to know.
I just, I don't have the energy to like ask people fake questions about their character. That's where I'm not good. I'm not probing enough. I just wanted to like be more surface. That's my own problem.
Yeah, you're not ready to invest and commit.
I would say that a lot of the people that play the game very well do the same thing that you do. They just kind of own it. They're just like, okay, this is my character. What do you have? What do you have on you? Just tell me. Tell me what you have.
I'm just like,
that maneuver is called pulling a Yamashita.
Right.
That's what
I thought the Yamashita was the 180 of what you want people to do.
It is. I would prefer people try and play their characters, but good luck trying to tell Matt Yamashita how to play a LARP. He doesn't listen to me. I wrote in his character sheet in the last one, I wrote explicit instructions. I was like, the only thing your character cares about is keeping the existence of Athena a secret. Within 5 minutes of starting, he was running around to people going, Athena? Athena? Tell me what you know about Athena.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. He had a sweater on, too.
If you're not even going to read the sheet, why do I bother writing them? Like...
But I did have an amazing 90s outfit on.
You looked amazing. The Blossom outfit was... I thought the dance-off was a lot of fun.
It was.
I
was so sick at that LARP.
I was too, actually. I wasn't as sick as Sean, but I was like a day ahead of him. So I was like, I need to sit down.
I was so sick.
Some kind of bad flu that came off, holiday.
I was drinking and I couldn't get drunk because I was so sick. All it was doing was just keeping.
I'm surprised I didn't even try to eat or drink. There was some amazing food and stuff there. I couldn't do any of it. I was like, anyway, good times.
I don't.
I got stuck on.
I remember that you guys were sick. I'm sorry.
I didn't. I was recovered. I wasn't like contagious or anything, but I was like reeling still from it, so I couldn't like. It wasn't at full energy mode.
I gave everybody.
Some people really got into that dance contest. That was pretty incredible. I was like, wow.
Well, that's kind of why we put stuff like that into LARPs now.
Yeah.
So if you're the kind of person like you, Aaron, who isn't really into the whole like going around and pretending to be somebody and asking
organizing clothes,
then there's always something else going on that you can get interested in, like the dance contest or whatever. There's always some other aspect of it that people can do.
It was brilliant. It was a really good one. I had fun. I just
that's why casinos are a good setting for a LARP, because if you don't feel like doing the LARP, you can just play. You can just play the casino games.
Oh, here it comes. Dada's gonna give good dice face soon.
Okay, first off, his name is Data.
Dr. Pulaski.
Data?
And if you're gonna call him by his name, call him by his correct name.
Data if you're nasty.
Yeah. Ms. Data.
You haven't earned the right to call him Data. Only his good friends call him Data.
I watch the episodes now. What?
Well, that's your fault. No one told you to do that.
I am kind of.
Here it is. Here it is. This is why I earn data. Both. Here it comes.
Take
Because
your
I
pick.
watched it.
I mean, it's gonna take a minute because he still has to like complete like fix the.
He's got to fix the dice.
Okay, here's what's funny. Riker loves playing poker, right? This is an established aspect of his character.
Sure.
But he somehow doesn't know the rules of craps because Data has to explain them to him. So how do you know poker? Did poker survive into the future, but craps didn't somehow?
Maybe he's strictly a card person, a card man, poker man.
It just feels like if you're a gambler like Riker is, you would know the basic rules of sort of all of the regular sort of standard games.
I guess it makes sense in the sense that craps requires a certain amount of like gaming infrastructure to maintain, whereas poker can still be an underground thing with anybody who has a deck of
There
cards.
it goes. Look at
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Baby needs a new pair of shoes. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Jake. Like,
blowing and snapping.
I also think that the
I don't
woman
know. I don't know the rules of
is-
craps at all. Arthur tried to teach me once, and it did not go well.
Nice.
And
Like a steak way, the
Wow. He
It's
hits
fun.
those. He hits those moves too, really,
Oh,
really
it's
well.
so great.
But the female actor is also really like she has these really like small face things, but they're hilarious. I think she's really good.
she's doing a very like Betty Boopy type.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, like oh, I'm such a ditz.
Hence the bad writing of the novel.
Riker's actually enjoying himself. He's like, this is fun.
He's like, I
Another
want to
thing.
be here forever.
Yeah, well, Troy at the beginning of the episode was like, I feel like he feels amused. And then Picard was like, he's having fun down there? Darn.
Uh-huh. Picard's confused, concerned face.
Matt, I could see some people being, or a lot of people being, sort of gamblers of a specific, game. They prefer poker. Or they prefer
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. You know, the more we talk about it, the more I think you're right. Just because you know one doesn't mean you would know all of them. You're absolutely right.
Oh, she's so sweet.
Good thing Data was there because he knows the rules of every game.
Sean, I can't believe you're gatekeeping the pronunciation of Data's name so much. Is it strictly just Data? There's
Well,
no Jack?
the minute that he or May or whatever stops, if someone mispronounced her name,
I mean,
How
I
she
think
would
if
feel.
somebody called you mine, you
Sure.
would say,
Would
my
be
name is
here.
mine. My name is Finn.
Yeah. True enough.
I mean, it's a plot point on the show that Pulaski called him by the wrong name, and he had to correct her.
characters have names. You don't get to choose how you pronounce them.
Yeah.
That's right. Characters have names and episodes have orders.
And people have pronouns.
And Craps has rules.
Popcorn has
And
butter.
Data knows those rules,
Data
but not Data.
As I've said before, I remember nothing I say on this.
That protects us all, keeps us innocent.
Exactly.
I mean, that's pretty. I'm not sure anybody does, so it's fair. I don't remember the things I say either.
Yeah.
Well, they just won the game. You guys have really flown our LARP flag this episode. I don't think we've mentioned LARP so much. I want to be a little ashamed because I feel like I should be ashamed of the fact that I've LARPed.
Well, that's good.
Why?
I don't know. It's very
That goes against everything you stand for, Min.
Yeah, I
Being
know.
ashamed
I know.
of LARPing.
Oh, well,
That makes
here's the
me
thing.
a little
Here's
bit
the thing.
sad.
I am a lover of Maynard. I love tabletop role playing. I love D&D, Call of Cthulhu. Totally into that. But there's something about LARPs that is a little more extreme, a little more removed, or intense to me, and it's hard for me to get into LARPing.
What?
What is going
Nothing
on?
you just said tracks with you at all. But
Why?
okay.
Really? I don't know. I mean, I'm a little with Aaron on the LARPs. They're I don't know. I know it sounds weird, because if I can be into Dungeons and Dragons, how can I not really be into LARPing?
It's the exact same thing, except you're walking around. It's just an exercise in improv.
And the D&D is something to be way more ashamed of than LARPing.
No way, man. No way. It's
If
making...
someone's going to be ashamed of something,
I don't know.
I'm not sure I want to fight that fight, but okay. I feel like there's nothing to be ashamed of.
I'm not saying that
besides-
there should be shame on either side. My point being that if one was
Just
going to
don't-
be ashamed,
Just don't say data wrong.
That should you should be ashamed
That-
of.
For sure.
that is something to be ashamed of.
They're making their breakfast.
The episode ended.
Yeah, we're done.
Oh, that's a new one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Still
How'd they
watching.
get off it? I missed the ending. What happened?
The ending after they get on the board is literally a 5-second scene with Riker and Picard, and they go, "Well, that was weird." And they
No,
go,
how'd they get
"Yep."
off the? I missed how they got
They-
off.
They finished the story. The
They
story
won.
had these investors that were there to buy the casino
Uh-huh.
and the hotel, and they played the craps game until they had enough money to buy the casino, and then
Well,
once
how
they
is it that the astronaut never figured that out?
well, I think what
That was
isn't
my
the whole
point
thing
earlier.
that the ship crashed. That's why
Uh-huh.
they found that chunk of his ship in the
Yeah.
floating in space. So if he finished it, he walked outside, realized he couldn't leave because his ship was crashed,
Oh, I see.
and
So-
so he's just sort of stuck there.
Hold on, let me rewind this a little bit.
Go
So-
on.
So this NASA ship could never have traveled to this distant star system. So it was
I
one
think
of the
it fell into a wormhole or something.
Yeah,
right? There's
it
some-
was traveling
nonsense
outside of the solar
right.
system. If they encountered these aliens, right? And the aliens accidentally killed his entire crew, but it turned out to kind of be an accident, and they didn't mean to. So they brought the remnant of his ship to this place and made this world for him, thinking there was some kind of
Because he had the book.
we're sorry that we killed all your people. We didn't mean to. We were just kind of checking you out. And then that was the impetus for them to create this sort of apology sort of world for this guy.
Uh-huh.
But they unknowingly created a trap, he wanted to escape from.
Uh-huh.
And that's why my question was did he, he was there for so long. Surely he could have, he had the book on him. He could have realized that
Sure.
perhaps by finishing the story he could leave. So I'm wondering, did he leave, see that the outside was still a trap that he could not escape from, and then just went back in? Or so
I understand the question.
Yeah.
Now. So it's not even just a callback to the Gangster Planet. It's also a callback to the Cage, because it's about a created world that aliens created to make a human feel comfortable, right? It's Pike trapped in
Sure.
the cage again. It goes all the way back to the very first fucking episode of this thing. That's amazing.
I guess it's be careful what books you have around.
Yeah, be careful what books you have around. Hope that your alien captors will check in on you every once in a while to see if
Yeah.
you're still having fun.
it's a good thing he wasn't toting around a copy of Flowers in the Attic.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Or watching Cruel Intentions.
So I'm going to say, Jake, that he was smart enough to realize what was happening, get to the end of the book, realize he would have to win the money in order to buy the hotel,
Yeah.
spent the rest of his life
The Dodgers.
trying to win enough money to buy the hotel, and was never able to do it. Because the only reason Data's able to win all that money so that they can get out is that Data cheats. So he was never able to make enough money to buy the hotel. And so he died in the hotel frustrated because he was never able to complete the story.
I'll buy that.
That sounds right.
And I will say, Data doesn't cheat. He stops the casino from cheating him.
Okay.
Yeah, but then he cheats by
I wasn't
being
paying that close attention, but he was doing something with those dice.
But the dice were not right.
The dice were loaded.
The dice were loaded, so he fixed them to make them roll correctly.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
But he still managed to roll perfect 7.
Because he's an android.
Because he's
Well, yeah, because he knows exactly the correct, he can make him roll the way he wants to, I think, is the theory.
I mean, is that the embodiment of Data?
Just have a natural ability to roll dice perfectly. Is that cheating?
No, I don't think so.
If you're just able to look at the table and see that it tilts a little bit to the left or whatever, like.
I think if you eliminate the element of chance, then you're kind of defeating the point of the gambling. You're circumventing the uncertainty. Huh?
Rain Man.
They most certainly consider that cheating when you count cards.
Yeah.
Casinos do not like that when you do that.
They just uninvite you from the premises.
Yeah, it's not technically illegal. It's not like against, they just don't like it when they catch people doing it, so they just kick you out.
People are like more perceptive than average.
That's why they have 10 deck shoes that they put.
Sure.
So that you can't count them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there was that movie about the math whizzes from, I don't know, some Ivy League college going to Vegas. And,
I watched that movie. That was not a bad movie. I read the book that movie is based on, which I think is called Bringing Down the House. And the book was a lot better, the true story that it's based on. The movie kind of changed it all. Yeah.
All right, I have a question to flip this. What book do you want to be stuck in if you have to be stuck in a book?
I wanted to say Narnia.
Excellent question.
But I think that's a bad answer because it seems like a fairy tale land, but there's a lot of bad, evil shit going on. So,
like pre-controversy Hogwarts, maybe.
Great Gatsby.
Interesting.
Yeah, you'd be rich, I guess, if you were in Great Gatsby.
Just parties all the time.
Yeah, just hanging out with rich party people. What's better than that?
That would be just like
kind of like knowing it's doomed from the beginning the whole
Yeah,
time.
well, if you're not playing Gatsby, you're pretty much okay. So they didn't have to play the main character. They weren't playing that bellhop that got shot in the back by the gangster. They were just random people who were at the casino.
I'm going to have to think about it.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I'm going to have to think about it.
Me too.
Because like any good book you think of you think of like the conflict and the challenge that the characters face.
Yeah, or the sadness.
Sure.
Whatever great environment you'd be in, you'd have to be kind of dealing with that happening, at least in the background. But maybe that's one for the email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Email us at warpedthepodcast@gmail.com and tell us what fictional piece of literature would you enjoy living in?
Being trapped in for the rest of your life.
There's a whole series of fantasy books about that. The first one's called like The Eyre Affair, and it's about getting trapped inside Jane Eyre. It's about this group. It's about this group of like, I forget what they're called, but they're like book detectives, and they're like, their power is that they can go in and out of books and like interact with the characters in the book, and they're sort of like crime solvers. There's like a whole series of them that are all based in this world about being able to go into books. They're pretty good. First one's pretty good.
I think they're called LARPers, is what they are.
About any of the Hardy Boys books?
No. I'd rather like a kid's I'm thinking like Winnie the Pooh or I'm trying to think of something upbeat overall. But some of them like get a little dark, like the Velveteen Rabbit. I think there's a little darkness in there, right?
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Everybody poops.
Yo, that's
Yes.
the book. Okay, I mean that's life, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm like, that's now.
Oh, I know what my answer is. My answer would be all creatures great and small.
Ah, that's a good choice.
Because it's like out in the countryside and like
That's a really good choice.
he's a veterinarian and like
That
the worst
seems
thing
like
the
a
worst
good
thing that
choice.
ever happens in those stories is that the horse dies or whatever because he wasn't able to
you have
say
to like
but-
stick your hand up its hooch in the middle of the night.
like they're these very gentle stories that are very low stakes. Nothing bad ever happens, and it's just about like the life of a country veteran in England. And they're lovely. That would be a very peaceful place to live, I think. So there. What do you think of that?
Not bad, yeah. We'll definitely
Well-
have to come back, revisit that.
Wrap it up.
You guys want a quick only connect before we go?
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We're
Take it
gonna
back.
need an
Back
only
it up.
connect jingle. I'll give you a quick one. This is one I think this is gettable. So your first clue is London 1969.
London, 1969.
Fires? When they burned down, no.
Places that werewolf novels were based in.
No.
Places where Austin Powers live.
Nope. Want another clue?
Yes.
Second clue is San Andreas.
Oh, San Andreas movies.
San Andreas.
I can only think of earthquakes.
Movies with The Rock.
There's no year on that one?
No year on that one.
Next.
You want another clue? Okay, your next clue is Liberty City.
These
Oh,
are
these-
GTA
GTA.
places.
These are locations in Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, the fourth clue would have been Vice City. I didn't know there was a Grand Theft Auto set in London 1969. And San Andreas, I thought was just they were talking about the San Andreas fault.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get it until when
I
I
was
was watching the show. I didn't get it.
When you
until-
said San Andreas, I thought about GTA, but I felt silly for thinking that.
so did I because I'm going to London. I didn't think London 1969. That's what I thought too. But then when you said Liberty City, I was like, oh no, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a version of Grand Theft Auto. But
Always go with your
I
first
thought
instinct, guys.
Yeah.
Jake would be the first person would be the one to get it because I just
Yeah.
thought he would know that
well,
there was
that-
a London 1969 Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I didn't know. That's not one I've ever played. So
Have you guys heard about the like the 80-year-old Japanese grandma who plays video games? And I think I was watching like a short.
you fucked her? Oh my god, man! Jesus, that's horrible.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah, we're gonna need to start a Jake bingo here. He's gonna start pulling out shit like
Jingo.
that.
Jingo. We do not want Jingo, please.
We have Mingo, we have Jingo. Just keep going.
Jaco. No, she apparently Grand Theft Auto. She loves the game. She thinks it's like very fun. It's like a film, watching a film, and you know, I don't know how good she is, but she's been playing for like 30 or 40 years now. So
You know how good she is.
Wow.
Well, thanks, Philippe. You made an appearance after all.
Thanks for coming, Jake. You guys want one more? I have one more.
Yes.
Sure.
More connect for you guys.
It's like a board game night.
We're gonna
Yeah.
get sued.
Well, if we ever get a cease and desist, we'll stop. But until then, No one
is
listens to this show
free
anyway.
public.
And,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, there are hundreds of episodes of this show on YouTube. So clearly, whoever is responsible for protecting the copyright doesn't much care if other people use it. Your first clue is Sunset Boulevard.
Musicals.
Movies turned into musicals.
No, but that's not a bad guess.
Sunset Boulevard. Roads in Los Angeles.
Yeah, if the next one was Wilshire Boulevard, you'd be like, I know it.
Places, streets in Disneyland, Disney World.
Nope. Next clue is American Beauty.
So it's something to do with
like
Academy Award-winning
best-
movies.
Best Picture winners?
No.
Like Leading Lady? American Beauty.
Directors. Same
Sunset
director.
Boulevard.
Same. Next.
Huh.
Next.
Next.
Next clue is The Lovely Bones.
Things in my pants.
You've got
Movies that have won Best Picture and Best Director.
Nope. Lovely Bones didn't win Best Picture. So it's not that.
Movies with
Movie.
Kevin Spacey.
They end in murderers.
They start
Nope.
and end with murders.
No, but you are now very close.
They show
With
the dead
murders
body,
in a
or they
pool.
talk about I died or something like that.
There it is. Sean got it.
The
These are
character
stories
says they
that are
died.
narrated by dead people.
Ah.
The fourth clue was going to be Desperate Housewives.
Yeah.
So all of these have a narrator who is already dead by the time you are watching.
Sixth Sense. Yeah.
No,
No
Success.
narrate.
I'm gonna add it in though. I agree. Do it.
Now I know never to take you on this show, man. Like,
No, you've known before this. Come on, I'm the worst trivia buddy ever.
but this isn't even trivia. This is more about like sort
But
of
It
figuring out
relies on knowing sort of trivial things.
Yeah, it does rely on that. It does rely on that. Yeah, all stories that were narrated by dead people. I never saw The Lovely Bones, but I guess the dead girl is the narrator of.
Yeah, I
Lovely
read the
Bones.
book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we didn't finish the episode, did we?
Nope.
This is
Oh,
This is
wow.
all part of the episode.
sorry, I forgot we were still doing it. Thank you all very much for listening. Please go to iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts to rate, review, and subscribe. You can email us at warpedthepodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at warpedthepodcast, on Twitter at warpedtrek. You can follow me at Host Warped. You can follow Min to learn about our Dungeons and Dragons and Call of Cthulhu podcasts and live streams at Wet Maynard. You can go to patreon.com/warp to become a sponsor and give us money in exchange for additional material and bonus episodes. Or you can go to Instagram at lunar_flare.com for merch, including the brilliant, I say brilliant because I made it.
Yeah.
I realize I should let other people say how brilliant it is. Anyway, at lunar_flare.com for the t-shirts and other merchandise. Anybody have anything else? Have Merry Christmas. Next week will be our Christmas episode. So Merry almost Christmas, everybody.
Hey guys, we're halfway through season 2.
We're still alive. Society is still together. We made it,
And
guys.
For now.
We will be back here again next week. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.
Sean?
My name is Sean.
Oh, I forgot. My name is Matt.
I'm Jake.
Aaron.
Minwin.
And I'm
I
me.
was like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I was ready to just let it go, but
Yeah, you were right. You were right to correct me.
It's the holidays.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Yeah.